The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The developers' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Hey, Isaac.
Hey.
What you doing?
Oh, tagging everyone in this post. Did you already do that?
Yeah, I did. I think we just did it twice.
Oh, nice. It's okay. I think I got in trouble for doing it. Tonight we have on the podcast Larry Big Daddy Dinopolous.
I believe it's Laurent.
Lawrence.
Laurent. I think it's Laurent.
I think it's Lawrence Dinopolous.
And what we're going to do is we have some what is it? We have some questions that people are spreading around, or there's statements going around. It's again typical just crap. Like,
you Poland people are just troublemakers.
Oh, dude, it's not even it's like, and here's the thing that's frustrating for me, and I'm going to try not to be a jerk. I'm going to do my best. But it's like the same people in our community that were against the EMS levy. It's the same people that were talking trash. Like, it's the same freaking people over and over and over. And they just me, and they just spread. It's just so annoying. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So let's bring on Dr. D here. So, hey, sir.
Hey.
What's happening?
Is it Laurent? Is that what I read?
Laurent. U-R-E-N-T.
Laurent.
Laurent. You keep saying Laurent.
Is that French?
It's French, yeah.
It's like baguette.
It's like baguette, right?
Whoops. It's like baguette. So I gotta ask you, Doc, are you do you go crazy being a board member right now with all this stuff going on, or no?
You know what? Not really. I mean, it's the same stuff. It's the same people. You got to have a thick skin. I mean, it's kind of like when we hired the new soup and they wanted to get rid of all five of us. It's just part of the job that you just got to take the hits. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
We can relate to that.
What's that?
We can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with that, and it's funny is, like, I just said it. I don't know if you heard me or not. It's the same people right now from like the EMS stuff when we had the EMS levy that were fighting, screaming, yelling, kicking. It seems like a lot of the people. I don't want to say it's the COVID thing, but it's a lot of the same people with the superintendent. Which at first we weren't big fans of that decision either, just because of the way the meeting went down.
Sure.
But again, I mean, we learned. I mean, Hockenberry's to me is freaking out of this world, right? As far as a hire, for the school, the communication, and that stuff. So
in a good way,
in a good way. Oh, it's in a good way. Yeah. I mean, out of this world. So. What are we gonna talk about here? Want to talk about the school levy a little bit? I know we got points to touch on, and I got some stuff we want to share. And
sure. Well, let's debunk a couple things. First off, the school board didn't unanimously vote to build 3 new schools.
Okay. We
unanimously voted to put it on the ballot to let the citizens of Poland make a decision. So that's one of the things I want to debunk.
Right.
A lot of people think that that's what we want to do is build 3 schools. That's not necessarily what we did. We put it up for the people to vote on it.
And that was based on Hockenberry going around and talking to everybody, correct?
Well, let's back up a little bit. Let's get a little history lesson here. So in 1999, the stadium was built.
Okay.
In 2002, the field house was built. In 2005, the connector was built, and a bunch of cosmetic stuff was done to Dobbins and North.
Okay.
And no taxpayer dollars were used for that. Supposedly, there was no bond issue put on. The voters didn't vote on that. So how was that paid for? Well, at the time, they buried the district in debt. They
Okay.
did what's called lease purchase agreements. So they borrowed the money. They put all 6 schools up as collateral, and they borrowed $20-30 million, which we're still paying on, which we pay $500,000 a year, and we pay till 2026 with $1 million balloon payment to pay that off.
Damn.
Wow.
So
who was the superintendent during that time period?
That was Dr. Zorn.
Dr. Zorn, the great Dr. Zorn that I hear about all the time that I've never met. Okay.
Right. So what happens with the OFCC, which is the organization that provides money to the schools if they want to build new schools. So let's talk about that a little bit. In the 1990s, the Supreme Court ruled that the way schools are funded in Ohio is unconstitutional. So your great state legislators decided to not do anything about it for the last 30 years. What they did instead was create the OFCC, and they put a couple $2 billion in this fund and said, instead of us helping you fund your schools, we're going to help you build schools.
Okay.
So they created a list of 600 and some school districts, the poorest to the wealthiest, and they started going down the list and offering them money. Well, in 2015, just like in 2022, our number came up. And you have about 14 months to decide, get the paperwork done to see if you want to use the OFCC money, if you want to get a master plan approved by the OFCC and put it on the ballot. So that came up for us again in 2022. Craig went around with, we narrowed down what our options were, and we had 4 options. Craig made all those meetings, and we narrowed it down to basically 2, then down to 1. And the board said, let's put it on the ballot and let the people decide if this is something they want to do. So it's a 12 mil levy over 37 years for approximately $100 million for 3 brand new schools.
Wow.
The state's going to kick in $20-some million. Big price tag.
What was the total? 105?
120. It's total about 120-some million dollars. The state's going to kick in about $20 million of it. So it's down to about $102 million, I think, is what the
right. Which is, I mean, and that's a lot, right?
A lot of money. No question about it.
That's a ton. Okay.
A ton of money. But it comes down to, what do the taxpayers want to spend their money on? Because the issue really isn't, I don't want new schools, so I'm not going to get new taxes. You're going to get new taxes. It's just a matter of in what kind of time frame and what are the taxes going to pay for. So one of the things that Bert Green talked about was, why don't we just spend $5 million a year for 5 years and fix up the buildings? Okay, who's going to pay for that? Because the school budget doesn't include $5 million a year for renovations. So if we say, okay, let's do that, we're going to put a bond levy on for 5 years for $25 million. That's 11 mills. So are you going to vote for that? Put $25 million into these old buildings, and after 5 years not have new buildings? And is that 11 mil levy going to stay on every 5 years? Or are you going to vote that off? I mean,
you're going to have to keep voting for it. It's like
it's like there's never been a levy that's really been taken off.
Right.
We always renew those. Now if that went on, I don't know if that would be renewed or not, but that's another option. But somebody's going to have to pay for the renovations. I sent you that
I have all that
Bulldogs. The people say that we have no plan. We've never spent any money fixing up the buildings. Well, in the blue part, that's all the money we've spent.
Hold on. I can pull it up. 1 second.
Okay.
Let me grab it here. I got it. This one. Hold on.
Just click on it. Yep, there you go.
So yeah, if you go to the third page.
Hold on 1 second. There, let me grab this here. Trying there. Okay, let me close. Sorry, Ari, I just zoom this in a little bit. All right, what are we doing? What are we looking at here?
If you go at the bottom of the third page,
okay,
you see what's left still to do, and you can see the figure on the bottom.
2, 3. This one?
Yeah. See the one? No, go up one.
This one.
See the bottom? Go down a little bit. Down right there. See that figure? 21,470,000.
Yep.
That's what we've already got planned that we need to do to our buildings. And all the other pages we've already done and paid for.
Lots, replacement windows, replacement playground.
You mentioned, Larry, you mentioned that balloon payment for 50 mil that's due on the
not 50
20
mil. It's 1 mil. It's $1 million in 2026.
In 2026.
Yeah.
And how much do we have that, or do you guys have that worked into the budget to pay that?
Yeah, that's already budgeted. That's budgeted.
And how much currently is going to that per year?
I think we put $500,000 a year towards debt. Now, one of the things you got to remember is that we do have a PI fund, a permanent improvement fund of 1 mil that generates about $300,000 or $400,000 a year. And for the past 20 years or so, that went to pay debt. Didn't pay any maintenance or anything. So that was all put to the debt. So the debt really strangles us, or strangled us. We're getting ourselves out of it, but that's an issue.
So one of the things I keep reading on another Facebook group, not ours, on another Facebook group is, does the school currently have like an $8 million surplus?
We do have an $8 million. I sent you that 5-year forecast.
Yep. Let me grab that. I can do that one next. Let's see here. General fund balance, 5-year forecast. Got it.
5-year forecast. It's small, so it may be tough to read.
I can zoom it in. It's not a big deal here. Let's zoom. Sorry, it takes a second to get the slides up. Everybody, share screen. 5-year forecast. Share. So going through share. All right, then we'll come over here. I've tried. Whoa, is that small?
So if you go down to the very bottom,
it's blurry too, but it's all right. Okay, we got it.
Keep going down to the very bottom of the page.
Okay.
Keep going. Go up a little bit. So at the bottom of the page, that is our cash balance. I think for 2023, it looks like it's $7,159,000.
Yeah, right here. Got it.
Now, this is attributed to Mr. Janafe. People badmouth Mr. Janafe all the time, but his restructuring the district, closing schools allowed that, and I sent you that graph.
Yeah.
Allowed us to build this up. And allows us to spend the money that we're spending now, we're contributing $1 million a year to the PI fund. We paid for the track and the turf with cash. Everything we're doing is we're paying it with cash at this point. But yeah, if you go back to the 5-year forecast.
Okay. Got it.
You go all the way to the bottom and go all the way to the right. That's fiscal year 2027.
This one right here, 5,000 or 5 million.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, we're at $5 million. Just stop right there where you see the red circle.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see the red circle in 20, that is our expenditures over revenue. So if you look at 2024, we're starting the deficit spend of like $100, maybe $400,000 or $80,000. But all the way by 2027, we're $2 million in the hole deficit spending.
Okay.
So the cash that we have on hand is going down.
And then your number drops here. That makes sense, right? Your number drops.
So the next year it's going to drop even more. We'll probably be $4 million that year. Okay.
Right.
So what you have to understand is what's not built into that. And one of the things that you and I always have fun with is increasing enrollment. Our enrollment is increasing a little bit. And it sounds like
how is it?
It is. It's not a good thing, Mr. Isaac. It's not.
I'm just saying. Somebody called it. I don't know who.
Well, it's not that much, but it's going up. It looks like we're going to probably end up hiring maybe 3 or 4 new teachers. We're out of space at McKinley. We're going to have to open up North, Union, Dobbins. That's not built into that number. Another principal, another cafeteria worker, another janitor. You start adding that up, that number disappears pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you figure a teacher plus benefits is about $100,000, let's say you've hired 5 of them, that's $500,000 over 5 years. That's 2.5 million. I mean, that $5 million number disappears pretty quick.
And I know we've talked about this before with the enrollment going up, and you're looking at it as numbers. It's like, because the estimates are going up, it's like you just said, it's going to cost more to pay more teachers, and then therefore, yes, it's good our numbers are going up, but it's driving the numbers down because of the increased expenses across the board, correct?
Because we don't get any more money for more kids.
Right.
Because we're on what's called the guarantee, which meant that as our enrollment dropped, the state continued to give us the same amount of money.
Right.
So as our enrollment goes up, we're still just going to get the same amount of money.
How does that make sense?
How is that fair? I don't understand.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. And the other part,
who negotiated that deal? Why was it negotiated like that? Why wouldn't it be negotiated so that if it goes up, we get more. If it goes down, we get less?
Well, we're in a position where if it goes up, we'd like to have more. But think about it. We lost almost 1,000 students. Would you like to have lost all that money? We've been in trouble if we lost that money with those kids. So we're in a tough spot. And we don't negotiate it. That's the state formula and so forth.
Yeah.
So
and next year, I know this year was a bigger class, right? Or than the year before.
The kindergarten class is a bit bigger. Yeah.
And the one coming up supposedly is the quote COVID babies or whatever it is, or getting close to it, right?
Yeah. Supposedly there's like 200 kids in the preschool age
That's
group.
a big freaking jump there.
Yeah.
I think it's more than COVID babies, but
So, and if we get hit with that, I mean, what happens then at that point? You're not going to have enough teachers, right? I mean,
well, you got to hire more teachers. You got to, we're out of space, so we've got to commit to either opening up. North really isn't an option, but you'd have to open up Union and all the steps that we took to get more money in our bottom line, and we're going to reverse that because we're going to have to open up another school.
And it's going to basically flip everything you guys have done to close, to eliminate expenditures.
Right. So we're going to be looking at, needing more money possibly down the road.
Yeah.
Just to operate.
And so this new school, then, it is a way to basically consolidate, or the new schools. It's to, because, well, let me start over. Well, what people are saying though is, well, why not just fix all the schools up? Like go $50 million or whatever, half, whatever. Again, just throwing out a number. Why don't we just fix everything up?
Well, is that the issue, or is it the issue that they don't want to pay more taxes?
I don't think they want to pay more taxes. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay,
I think if this one fails and then you do 50 million, I think they're going to bitch and complain about everything again. It's not going to matter. That's my personal opinion. They don't want to pay these people that are putting their feet in the sand. They don't want to pay anything.
Well, sooner or later they're going to have to. I mean, it's like a school levy, it's like an operating levy. You can turn it down as many times as you want. Sooner or later, it's going to pass because the state's going to come in and take over. I mean,
yeah.
But they essentially want to kick the can down the road and get it as far as possible, because the farther away it gets, the closer they get to retirement and they get to move out and don't have to pay it anymore. So that's all they're thinking.
Well, hopefully, the legislature is looking at that 70-70 rule. So if you're 70 years old, you don't have to.
The new that HB. Yeah, I was reading about that. Right.
Yeah, whatever. They would lock that in if you lived in your house for 10 years. I think it was a 70-10 rule. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the people on fixed incomes that have to deal with that. But you can say that we're all on fixed incomes. I mean, nobody wants to pay more in taxes. I mean,
right.
We're all going to take a hit if we have to pay more in taxes. But what are our options? I mean, the school board doesn't have many options with regard to that.
Wow. And then I'm trying to think here. So you have all that. I actually wrote a bunch of stuff down because, like I said, I got to stop reading freaking. Isaac yells at me all the time because I read other people's posts and just drive.
You can't, man. You can't read the comments. You can't. It's not worth it.
So school robes going up and down. The school plus has a thing. Okay, you already said this, but I just want to get this clear. Was the football field paid for through a levy?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, for sure, because people are saying that. Were the schools not taken care of and not upkept? Like North, why is North crumbling? Did the school boards back then not take care of it? Like what's the deal with that? Why are they?
Well, you have to remember that in 2011 we were strapped for cash. We had no money. So in 2011, we certainly didn't maintain we had no money to maintain buildings. I mean, we froze teacher salaries. We froze steps, which was unheard of. We stripped the bus drivers of health insurance. We started pay to play. So putting on a new roof at Dobbins, or we just patched whatever we needed to do to get things done. So once that levy passed, and once David came in and started restructuring the district, North, all our buildings at the time were at 50% occupancy.
Yeah.
You had 3 elementary schools. You had K through 4 at North, Union, and Dobbins. You had teachers at Dobbins with 25, 26 kids, and you had teachers at North with 15 kids in their class.
Right.
Once all that was done and cash was, money was available, we certainly were fixing up buildings. I mean, we're spending $2 million a year at least fixing up buildings, all the way back to 16, we were putting money into these buildings.
Right. Because one of the things the people keep saying is, they didn't take care of the school building. It's a typical, you hear we didn't take care of the school building. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You didn't do that.
Well, it's like a death spiral though, because they're saying you didn't take care of the buildings. Well, you couldn't because you didn't have any money.
Right.
And now the same thing is happening where we don't have any money, so we need to buy new schools because we couldn't take care of them in the first place because there was no levy.
Why was there no money? Why was there no money in 11? I mean, that was before I was paying attention anyway.
Well, because all the debt service came to fruition. You know what I mean? Teachers got raises in 7, 8, 9, and if you look at that graph I sent you, the general fund just came crashing down.
Hold on, I'll grab it here. General fund balance, right?
Yeah.
So we were giving out pay raises during a recession?
Yeah. I don't have that in front of me, but I remember that was.
I got it right here, boss. Hold on one second. So general fund balance. Here we go. This is a good, Isaac. This is a good one. So, all right, let's pull this up here. All right, so what are we looking at here? So this is, what do we got here, Doc?
So you've got the trend coming. This graph shows from 2009 to 2027. You can see the trend from 9 down to 11 to 12. We have $2 million in our general fund, and that is when we passed the levy in 2013. I think the money started coming back in 14, and you can see that as the changes were made with the restructuring the district, how the savings went. I think we were projected to be $8 million in the hole.
I remember that.
And David turned it around to an $8 million surplus. So I mean, that had to be done. Those were some tough decisions to make from the previous board, but
and that is a direct reflection, this spot right here, of closing buildings, correct?
Yeah, closing buildings, teachers retiring, not replacing teachers that retired.
Right.
A reduction in staff. It's funny because if you look at, I have them in front of me. If I look at the 2023 5-year forecast, we spend $10 million on personnel service, which are teachers, salaries, and so forth. And if I go back to 2009,
okay,
2007, 2006, we spent $10 million on personnel services. So we're spending the same amount of money, and the teachers have gotten raises, so we have fewer staff members. compared to back in those days because we have fewer kids. But that trend is changing a little bit. So,
right.
and now if you look at this graph, you can see how by 2027, the trend is going downward now.
And the problem is with this graph, it doesn't reflect adding new schools in. Just to verify that again. So it's not like it's the amount of schools we have open right now.
Right. And it doesn't, there's some renovations budgeted into that, but the major renovations aren't budgeted into that.
So what happens, I guess, and again, I know you might not know the exact number. So what happens to this general fund balance if, let's say, we open Union up?
It's going to go down.
A lot. Like what is it if we put in, I mean, is there any way to know, like, do you know the number or estimate? Like, we open up Union, we move the teachers around, you got to add a cafeteria staff, you got to add a principal maybe, right? Like, I mean, we talking, are these all these numbers? So like 2024, is that going to drop $1 million or, you know, like, again,
well, let's try to go by 5 years. So let's say you add 5 teachers and an administrator.
Yeah.
Let's say you add $1 million in terms of salaries and benefits, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Over a 5-year period, that's $5 million.
And you're
so if you go out to 2027 and you take $5 million off of that,
you're done.
Zero.
Right. Wow.
Right?
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Right.
Now, do you have, I guess I'd love to see it. Again, I know you probably don't. What happens with the levy? So let's say the levy passes.
Sure.
The general fund then, what's going to happen with that then?
Well, it's kind of tricky because if the levy passes, it's going to take 3 years to get a new school?
Right.
Schools? So in the meantime, the school's going to have some flexibility in terms of okay, maybe we don't open Union over those 3-year period, and we try to make do with what we have, and share room, whatever. You might have some flexibility there, but you're still going to have to spend some money over the course of those couple of years. But if the levy passes, you've got a built-in $500,000 that pays for the maintenance of all the new buildings. And so you lose all the maintenance items that you're going to have with all the other schools.
Right.
You know what I mean? So right now we've got $20 or $25 million that we need just to improve things. You would lose some of that moving forward.
So and what about, I just totally dropped my computer. We're good. I'm good. Sorry about that. What about, I keep hearing things about like South Range. South Range built the new school, which is where Isaac and I are from.
Sure.
Built the new school. And then
currently living in that school district right now too.
Yeah, and then they need another operating levy because they don't have enough money to pay for the new building or something like that.
It's not that they don't have enough money to pay for the new building. They have the money to pay for the new building because that's what the bond levy would pay for. But as you see where our operating money is right now, and the trend that it's going downward, is that a possibility? That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And certainly if you kick the can down the road, you kick the building, we're not gonna pass this. We don't want you to do anything for another 5 years. You're probably going to be staring at an operating levy. We passed an operating levy in 2012 that was supposed to last 5 years. It's lasted till 2023, and it looks like it's going to last at least 2027.
Right.
That's almost unheard of. I mean, that's 15 years that a emergency levy has kept us in the black. So, fiscally, we've been pretty responsible.
Right. I guess that's the thing I keep hearing, South Range this, South Range that, South Range. And the thing about South Range that I know personally is they keep comparing South Range to Poland, and it's not the same because South Range got 50%, 675 of their school paid for from the state. And if they didn't do it at that point, at that time, they were not going to get that money, and they were not going to get those new schools.
You go back to the end of the line.
Yes. And I keep hearing people in Poland say, "Oh, South Range had to do an operating levy." And this is from a freaking guy who keeps comparing it. By the way, that is paid through taxes. That happens to be a lawyer in the village speaking up and against the levy, even though, hey, schmuck, I know you're watching. You're paid from tax money in your position. So yeah, you know who you are.
The village dictator, you mean? Who makes all the decisions?
On the other Poland page talking shit about the school levy when his kid's a senior and he's paid from taxes. Freaking hypocrite. Anyways.
Well, those are two separate things.
Yeah.
Operating and the bond levy are two separate things. So you've got to separate the facilities. Just because you build new buildings doesn't mean that your operating hopefully your operating costs go down and you're able to stay in the black, and that helps you. But it doesn't surprise me that they had to,
they had to do that, right? So it is possible.
Inflation.
Is it so by doing the levy? So you're going to get more money to fix this up, right? Costs could go down then because you're going to have less repairs, right? Larry, hello.
Say that again. I didn't hear you. You're going to have less repairs.
Oh, that's okay. So are costs going to go, costs could go down with the new levy because of the repair? Like you're eliminating
costs should go. Costs should go.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, Armstrong.
You're eliminating the repair expense. Hopefully, you're designing buildings to be more efficient with your staff. That kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, that makes sense too. So, and again, if you're watching at home, if you have a question, you got the president.
That's one of the things that when we consolidated the elementary schools.
Yeah.
When we put all the kids in each grade in one school, that allowed you to eliminate teachers if you needed to. If you had 100 kids in grade 2, you only needed 4 teachers. Instead, if you had 3 separate schools, you might have needed 5 or 6 teachers in that grade because of the way it was designed.
Right. Wow, that is crazy. What else you want to talk about, Larry? What else you got? You got to have stuff bothering you. Go get it out. Think of us as therapists. What else you want to talk about? I think his internet's going. Larry, did you get the cheap internet?
Mine? No, I'm good here. I see you guys.
Oh, okay. No,
you don't see me?
No, we see.
Oh, you just fed up now. It was delayed. It was delayed.
I'm like, I guarantee Doc got the cheap internet. He totally did.
I don't know what's happening.
Hey,
Larry, let's do this. We'll run a commercial. We're going to kick you out and then rejoin. Let's try that real quick. We'll play a commercial while you're gone. Okay. So let's remove him.
No, you're going to kick him out?
Yeah, and then have him rejoin. We're going to play a commercial. Who can we play, Luke? Do you have anybody?
Yeah.
Speaking of Poland, did you guys know that we are sponsored by? Oh wait, where's that? Sponsored by Valley Insurance Group, the mayor of Poland, who also absolutely loves the village lawyer, even though he's a giant turd. Check him out for all of your insurance needs, home or auto.
You know what though, Isaac? We separate business from that. You know what I mean? It's like the village stuff is the village stuff. Tim has been supportive of us, even though we talk crap about his boys a lot.
He is. It's his hire, but he's our boy.
Come back. All right. I just texted Larry to come back here.
I'm gonna get rid of your chart too. That'll. Or can you remove your chart? That might help too.
Yep.
Device is not connected. What are you doing, Larry? Larry, connect your mic.
Oh my God.
Sponsorship canceled.
Wait. Got it.
Let's see. Speaking of another, we could just give her a shout out here, even though she didn't sponsor. Haley's Beauty. Poland graduate, Haley's Beauty. She sponsored us last month.
Yeah.
We'll play her.
I'm trying to think what else. So, it's just really frustrating right now, Isaac. I know you don't live in Poland anymore, It's just so
Yeah.
frustrating for me to see what some of these people that are so against the levy are saying because they don't know what they're talking about.
My question would be if you could somehow have 65 and over not pay for the levy, right? So their taxes aren't affected.
That's
Hey, next time, don't kick me out.
Yeah, we won't kick you out. Sorry, your internet was all jacked. Well, Isaac, like Larry said, there's a law almost passed where if you're 70, your taxes won't go up.
Right. But my question would be, would they still vote no? Like, are they just that much of against the school levy, or is it purely a money thing? That would be the tell on if it's purely a money thing or if they just don't want a new school. Because
I don't care what anybody says. Okay, this is my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't care what any of these people say. They can make up excuses about what happened 20, 30 years ago, this, that, and they were wrong. That they can make up what this. They don't want to pay money towards the school because they don't have kids in the school. That's it. That's it. I don't care what they say.
And if they were somehow able to prove that, like if they could get those people not to vote, it would. I feel like it would immediately pass. Immediately, because
it's it. I don't care.
The empty nesters are out. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. Larry, what do you say as a school board member when
typically they say there's
Go ahead, Larry.
No, I said typically there's 30% no's, 30% yeses, and it's the 40% in the middle that you're trying to sway one way or another. So you're gonna have 30% of the population that's no matter what.
Right.
So
So and it's 30% yes, which are going to be like parents and you know what I mean.
Do we have a demographic makeup of those votes? Can we see who's voting no and who's voting yes?
I could probably guess.
I think you can see it after the election.
That would be interesting. It'll be interesting to analyze those numbers after the fact. Because
were you on the school board when the last levy got turned down?
Yes.
And what was that? Let's talk about the last levy, because it was for a whole new school, correct?
Oh, that levy, yeah. Well, yeah, it was for a K through 8 at Dobbins.
Okay, K through 8 at Dobbins, and that got shut down. What was the vote for that? Do you remember?
It was I want to say it was close to 70-30. It was like 65-45, I think. It wasn't very close.
Yeah. And how much do you remember?
Go ahead.
What were the arguments for that?
We weren't transparent. The same arguments that are now. Same type stuff. It was $28 million back then.
And it was $28 million got turned down, Isaac.
Yeah, we had 10 open houses at all the schools, and there was probably 15 people that showed up all together. So I mean, it's
right. So Isaac, if this gets turned down, right?
Yeah.
Then down the road, they're gonna do a 50 or whatever to pay. They couldn't pass a $28 million levy 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I mean,
I know there are some school districts that had luck, like streaming or video recording. Like maybe I guess the superintendent couldn't be a part of it, but video recording like a walk through the halls so that you are getting out there what is wrong with everything and why the schools need updated. That way, whether people come to the open house or not, they have it thrown out in front of them. Like, here is the reason why we need new schools. Is that a possibility?
You can't see it on video. You got to smell it.
Yeah.
You got to walk through it. I mean, I went to the middle school 45 years ago. It was a dump then. We've put millions of dollars into it. It's still a dumpy school.
Yeah.
It looks historic from the outside. But if you're a kid in a wheelchair, you can't get around that school.
Right.
You can't get into the gym. We've got seats that go up on the stairs. You get 4 minutes to go between classes. If you're a disabled kid, it's impossible to go to that school.
Right.
And you look at Union. Union has one bathroom in the basement for 3 floors of kids.
Yeah.
Seriously? Yeah, we can fix that up. You're not going to you're not going to put bathrooms on the first, second, and third floors.
Right.
Still going to be one bathroom in Union. The classrooms are still going to be the same cinder block looking thing that you can't, and you're talking about 2030. Schools are 100 years old.
Lex is being smart, but exactly why? Because Lex is helping lead the charge for Canfield. By the way, Lex is from Canfield. We had him in the committee on. Why would we build a new one, Doc? When you're just going to let that one go to hell again?
Is that sarcasm? Or is that true?
Yes, that's sarcasm. Yeah, he's heard that. He's
on the Canfield committee.
Okay. Well, the beauty if you take the OFCC money is that you have to have the $500,000 in there for maintenance. So you can't let it go to pot. You've already got the money built in from the levy.
Okay.
To maintain the schools. So it's really not an issue.
Oh, I know a good one. You only talked to one contractor and not other contractors, or why are we using the state contractors? That's another one I keep hearing.
Okay. Well, that's the other misconception. We haven't picked an architect, obviously, to either design or build these things yet. That's not even fathomable. We did pick GDP to draw preliminary guidelines so we could have a master plan developed for the state. You have to do that. I mean, but
right.
We haven't paid any contractors to build. We can't do that till the bond passes. And then that's a bidding process. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they keep Isaac people on that other side. Oh, they're picking this argument. They already got an argument. They're not shopping around. They're not doing this. They're not. It's like it's just lies.
It's just not true.
Crazy. They don't. And it's like I think somebody says it and then they all believe it.
Yeah.
Echo chamber.
Yeah.
And then what do you say? And here you go. What do you say to somebody who says, "I can't afford it"? Like, what are you thinking that? Because I mean, 100 million is huge, right? We all agree on that. But what do you say when they're like, "I'm on a fixed income. I can't afford it"?
It's tough. I mean, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that.
Right.
Let's take the 100 million off the table. What are you going to do when the school comes for a new operating levy?
Right.
What are you going to do if we say, okay, we're going to do what you guys don't want new schools. We're going to fix them up, but it's going to be $20 million. It's going to cost you another 10 mils. What are we supposed to do? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I certainly don't want to kick people out of their houses. I think the state, this goes back to state funding and the fairness of how the state funds things. We only get $2,200 a kid. Youngstown probably gets $7,000 a kid. That's our tax dollars. We pay the state our taxes and they distribute it unevenly. So, I mean, a school board member doesn't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that.
We got to move to PA is what we got to do, where you guys can just the school board can just say, hey, we're doing a bond. You got to pay it. Screw you.
Well, we can do that. We can turn around and say, okay, you don't want us to, you don't want new schools. We're going to go out and borrow $30 million, just like Dr. Zorn did.
Right.
And you're going to end up paying the debt.
Can you borrow 120?
No, you can't do that.
All right, you guys don't want to pay it? Fine. $120 million. I'm going to go borrow $120 million.
We're going to come to you. Can you finance us for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
We got people. We know people.
Okay.
Okay. What about open enrollment? I keep hearing about open enrollment too. I mean, the other thing. Oh, South Range did this, and then they went open enrollment for money. Like I think there would be a pure riot if you tried that in Poland.
I think we've been down the open enrollment road numerous times, and I think Poland is totally against open enrollment.
Yeah.
I don't know that really helps us. Again, it just becomes an enrollment issue.
Right. Yeah, where you're getting more kids, right? You got to hire more staff, right?
Right. I don't know how much that helps. I was talking to a guy from South Range earlier this week, and he said they really didn't take many open enrollment kids this year. Yeah. I'm not sure what grade he was talking about, or if he was talking all grades, but I don't know that. I don't know. That's really not a solution.
Yeah, we don't want your Poland kids out here in South Range. Keep them.
I'm gonna send Lucas out there. I'm gonna send my kids out there. And then wow, I just yeah, I don't know. So is there, and I know you don't have to get into details. If it passes, we know what happens. If it fails, board have a plan, a backup plan. You guys got plan
yeah,
B,
I
plan
think
C?
I think there's probably two potential plans. One is to go with one school down at the middle school complex. That's what the committee originally wanted. We had a committee back in 2017 after the bond levy failed in 2015. We had 10 or 12 people, some that were vehemently opposed to what we wanted to do in 15, and we had 5 or 6 meetings, and they came up with a plan to have a K through 6 at the middle school complex. Just one new school.
Right.
That's probably the direction that we're going to probably head. The other option is just to try to fix up what we've got. But again, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost taxpayers money. So,
right.
And I don't know that the people that are opposed to new schools understand that it's not a issue. It's not a new school issue. It's a tax dollar issue. You're going to have to pay more in taxes at some point. And do you want it to go to new schools? Do you want to go to restoring the old schools, or do you want it to just go to one school building? I mean, it's just going to depend on what the public wants their money to go to, because there's going to be tax dollars involved here.
And when you're talking about the 105 million being a huge amount, a huge big thing, could you do what you guys want and trim it down? Like, because I keep hearing people say, I was reading today, oh, there's too many bells and whistles in this plan. Like, I don't even know what the hell that means. Like, could you trim it down and do smaller buildings, or is it's just gonna end up?
If you did that, they would complain that it's not historical enough and you're not appreciating the architecture of what came before, and we shouldn't have done this to begin with. That's what the complaint would be.
We're going to just make excuses no matter what.
Well, the OFCC has certain requirements that you have to fulfill, and it's based on square footage per number of kids you have.
Gotcha.
So if you have 2,000 kids, they have a formula, and this is the size school you need. This is what you need, and then they come up with, every April they come up with an estimated construction cost per square foot, and they throw that in, and that's how they get the number. So are there things in that number, they call it LFI, I think is what it's called, where the state's not going to contribute, we're going to contribute. So let's say we want another gym or one extra gym. That's all on us. Can you trim some of that back? Sure, but we don't have any idea of what the final plan would be. Those are just rough estimates, and you've got to have a rough estimate in order to get a bond and a dollar amount to vote on.
So, right. What do you think about former board members speaking out and putting their 2 cents in?
Hey, it's a free country. They can say whatever they want. I just wish they would be accurate. Britt made a comment, and I don't know what he was talking about. He said that when he was on the board had a budget of $16,000, and now we have a budget of $194,000. I don't know what he's talking about. The school board doesn't have a budget for the school board itself. We get paid $120 a meeting for 12 meetings a year, which is $1,400 a year times 5.
We can trim that back.
Yeah, we can trim that back. I mean, a lot of times we donate that for the levy committees.
So wait, kind of you're not making $100,000 or whatever?
No, I don't know where that money came from. So, I mean, I'm all for people speaking out as long as they speak the truth.
Yeah.
In this country now, you say enough mistruths, it becomes fact. So it's.
Oh, that's the truth.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I went off on that freaking guy a couple different times, because to have a school board member, an ex-school board member from 20 years ago who was there for 4 years and then didn't get reelected, go on. Do you hear about this, Isaac?
Yeah.
He went on to, not Ron Verb, who's the other guy?
Dan Rivers,
and was talking shit, excuse my language, about the current administration, the librarian getting paid too much, and he's like some 72-year-old freaking guy that has no involvement in anything for 20 years.
And Ron Verb lives in Poland, right?
No, Rivers lives in Poland.
Dan Rivers
lives in Poland, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny.
He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have any kids in the school system, right?
No. He's
What do you know?
He's vehemently against the levy.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Is anybody surprised by that? Has anybody not figured it out by now? That's the issue right there. Like,
Rivers having a 20-year like out of the system board member on as a guest, Isaac, as a guest in the studio to talk shit about the levy. It was unbelievable.
Always been a huge fan of Dan Rivers, though. Always been a huge fan. Would love to have him on the podcast, Mr. Rivers, whenever you're ready.
Unbelievable that he did that and let that freaking guy from 72-year-old guy from 25 years ago, however long it was, go on and talk crap. It was unbelievable.
It's literally, it's not a surprise anymore. It's just.
I just hope everybody realizes that that's watching it. Like, and then the soup went on, and Rivers wouldn't let the soup get a word in edgewise. It was it's just gross.
Yeah, soup would say, well, you know, we're the government's paying for some of it, so it's 105, and he would say, I can't believe you guys are doing 120 some thousand or 120 million dollars. Like
I lost so much respect for Rivers when he had freaking Brit on, and then didn't let gross.
Wouldn't let the soup talk. Yeah,
gross. Wow. So then I'm trying to think here. What else? Anything else you want to touch on while you got it here? I mean, we got almost 50 people watching.
I guess I'm as a board member, I'm disappointed that more people didn't run for the board. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's thrilled with the way the schools are going. I mean, we've got a levy on, and you've got vote no signs out, and nobody else is challenging any board members. I mean, that's frustrating. You know, as a board member, you know, I've always run opposed. It'd be nice to run unopposed, but to run unopposed. I mean, we're gonna have 3 new board members that really aren't elected. They're just automatically on the board, and I in general, I don't think that's a good idea. I think there needs to be debate. I think you need to know what people stand for. You know, there's a new thing in the state house saying that school board members should have to declare whether they're Republican or Democrat. I don't know about that. I don't care one way or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you at least have to have. I would think as a citizen of Poland, you would want at least to know and hear from the people that are running for school board. And I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that's a shame.
Well, when you ran last time, we had our debate. Remember, Isaac?
Right.
There was a debate. There was all kinds of people running. That was great. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's what you need. I mean, I think there were 7 people running for 2 spots.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was great. And then now it's like people are like, you guys gonna have a debate? I'm like, why are we gonna have a debate? There's 3 freaking people running for 3 spots. Now, Troy is challenging the board in court, and we should know soon if he's going to be able to get on the board. I think it is a Hail Mary from Mr. Polis, but I respect him for fighting.
Yeah, I think that's really dumb that they won't that just doesn't make it. People screw up all the time. Way worse than that. Why is that some kind of technicality that stops him from getting in? It's dumb. I really do think that's stupid. But
it's hurting our system is what it's doing, because you're having 3 people just get elected, like Larry just said. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think in Struthers there was only 2 people running for 2 spots, and one of them didn't fill out the forms right. So there's only one guy, and they're going to have to fill the spot themselves. So, you know, I just think more people need to get involved. You know, there's so many people that go online and are so
shout from the sidelines.
Yeah, they're so courageous with their keyboard. Yet when it comes time to step forward and make comments, they don't. I mean, I'm always disappointed there's nobody at the board meetings.
Yeah,
I mean, I like people to challenge us. I like the back and forth, and you know,
except when you're talking about putting masks on kids.
Well, that's okay too. I mean, you know. That was important too. I mean, everybody's got a right to their opinion,
I miss those. Isaac, those were fun when we used to stream those board meetings. Those were the good days.
You guys don't even come anymore.
I'm not allowed to come. Let me get that straight. I am not permitted to go to the school board.
I don't live in Poland anymore, but I just feel like society as a whole, it applies in this situation too, where it's just like people love to, like Lex says, people, it's easier to tear something down than it is to build something up. But on top of that, people are so annoying they critique things and they say you're doing everything wrong. But when you ask for help, they are, I can't do it. They scream from the sidelines and never do anything to help their community get better in any way, shape, or form, and only yell at the people that are actually doing something.
100%. Yeah. So
it's such a joke.
Yeah. No, I did not get banned. I didn't get kicked out of a school board meeting, Justin. My wife is a teacher in Poland, which everybody knows as full disclosure, which is one of the reasons I have 3 kids. My wife's, of course, I'm fighting for the levy.
That sounds like an excuse. Dinopolous called the cops and got Luke removed, so he can't ever come back.
I did not get removed from a school board meeting. I'm not permitted to be active in school board meetings or run for any position in the school board. Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And scream without any information or data. Yeah, people just yelling and scream. They have no clue.
Yeah, they just throwing stuff and hoping something sticks. And it's like just
well, I think Larry commented on it too. It's like somebody says something, right? They say something as fact, even though it's not fact.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I agree with that. So then people start spreading it. And it's not true. And which goes on not on our site, because I freaking banned, but on the other site, it's freaking running rampant where somebody says something and then boom, it's an echo chamber. The old echo chamber.
It's like you're trying to start a fire. It's like you're trying to start a fire in hopes that it spreads quickly. And it's like you just start it and then hope it starts to light somewhere else. Hope it lights up.
Stephanie, if you're on here, Stephanie, one of the committee members, can you share the website again? Where the people can get the information for where was that at? I don't know where that went. Stephanie will share it in the comments. We're at an hour already. That's crazy.
Do you guys know who on the vote no signs, do you know what the committee is or who's paying for that?
I have no idea.
If they're paying for it, I doubt somebody's paying for it.
Well, there's a little line underneath it. I haven't gone up to any of the signs to see.
I don't know. Yeah, there it is. All right, to vote yes, there's the website. I believe the last name of the person was Fabian. And I don't know who that is, but they were arguing with me on Facebook because I deleted a post. I deleted their post when they posted it. And they said, hey, message me for that. So it was a Fabian link. I don't know, or a guy, Michael Fabian or something like that. Again, he's the guy that was posting on there. I have no idea who he is. Looking at his Facebook profile, he does not have kids in the school. I can tell you that. So that's what I do know.
Well, only 18% of the people in Poland have kids in school.
Really? It's only 18. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
The great turnover is coming. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time.
Wow.
Yeah, only a matter of time.
And Stephanie says it says paid for by Citizens Against Poland Schools. Isn't that nice, Isaac? Yeah. Citizens Against Poland Schools. Isn't that amazing? Citizen Committee. We are the Citizens Committee of Poland Schools. Yeah.
Wow.
And here's a good one. Research has proven, this is from David, who is a finance guy. Research has proven repeatedly that $1 spent on school corresponds with a $20 increase in property value. What better investment is there? Fantastic.
Because, David, they're afraid that they're only going to spend the money. They're not going to see their investment take root and eventually pay dividends because they're not going to be here that much longer. That's the issue.
Yeah.
They don't think it's worth it.
The other problem is it's not money in their pocket today.
Yes.
You got to sell your house to get that. You know what I mean? It's not money.
Well, yeah, it's not. Yeah, but again, it's value down the road. You know, and I don't think people see that.
Well, they think I got to make it 10 more years and then I can retire and get the hell out of here or be in the ground and I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Can I say something? I bet they probably buy lottery tickets every freaking Friday because they think they're going to hit it big on the lottery for retirement. That's just my call on that too, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there.
It'll be interesting. What'll be interesting to see is that when all of these people, when all of the old people are dead and gone, to see what happens statistically with the different schools that put money into buying new schools or fixing them up or paying the levies, if it actually turns out like if it actually does pay, or if communities get better and what they did. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to analyze it.
Larry, you don't have kids in school right now, right?
No.
Why would you vote yes?
Why would I don't know why you would vote no. I mean, aside from the inability to pay the tax, you know, I'm where I'm at today because of pulling schools. My kids are where they're at because of pulling schools. I mean, you got to get back. Why am I on the school board? I mean, I've been doing this for 14 years. You know, I mean, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, you know, you got to pay it forward.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean?
Did you
see the quote I posted? Did you see the quote I posted today, Isaac?
No.
Did you see that, Larry?
No.
I'm going to read this to everybody watching this. This is the best thing I read, and it's the best thing I could think of why you vote yes, even though you don't have kids. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, sorry. Where'd it go? It was getting in here. Hold on, sorry guys. It is a society. Ready for this? A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shades they shall never sit. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shades they shall never sit. You like that, Isaac? You get it?
Get out there and
understand. I hope he understands it.
Do you need me to explain it to you, Isaac?
Larry, old fart. Maybe you should go out and plant some trees.
Well, he's trying to.
You know what's funny? What's funny about that?
Taking away your shovel.
What's funny about that is we said we were going to replace the trees that we cut down on Dobbins, and we never have. So there's
you need to get out there and plant those damn trees.
We need to plant those trees,
right?
So you know, go ahead.
Is that haiku? No, that's not haiku. Sorry, go ahead.
The shade. The thing is, you might not see the shade right away. It takes time. You know what I mean? Like,
people don't see it, man.
Time.
People don't see it, so.
And they don't care. You know, because they only care about what's in their own. It's sad. It really is sad.
No, well, Larry, we are, and I'm going to be honest with you guys too, and I'm going to give credit when credit's due. This is going to hurt. The school board, we did an awesome job hiring Hockenberry. The communication from the school, I would put it up at this point, bar none, probably the best in our area for communicating, getting word out. It has been unbelievable. Like, do you remember what you used to bitch about that, Isaac?
Yeah, they totally course corrected.
It's unbelievable how good it is. Like, and that credit to Hockenberry and credit to what's his name, Nico, the communications guy. I mean,
the kid who runs the social media. That kid, he doesn't want any credit, but he does a good job. He does a very good job.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys some credit, man, because we gave you guys so much grief for like a year, and then all of a sudden it's unbelievable. Like we can't even complain about it.
Well, you know, and David, not that I'm, I don't want to come across wrong way, but David didn't have those guys.
Yeah.
He didn't have a full-time communications director.
Right.
He didn't have a full-time facilities guy. He didn't have a full-time transportation guy. He was doing a lot of that stuff himself. So, credit to him for getting the money that we can pay these guys to help Craig out. So
okay,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, the communication, and anybody who says you guys aren't being transparent with the school board or Craig's not being transparent.
I haven't even heard that yet.
Oh, I have.
You haven't heard that yet,
Isaac.
Isaac, really?
On the other site.
He's that man has literally had dinner with like everybody in Poland. Like what do you want? Like what do you want him to do?
Listen, Isaac, saying I wasn't invited to those meetings.
For the love of God.
I wasn't invited to those meetings, or saying I called him 5 times, he never called me back. Bullshit. It's all BS across the board. Like, it's unbelievable. I left him messages. He never called me back. I wasn't invited. I didn't know about him. What are you? It's crazy. Oh, and Janet Montaigne's another great one too. Great answering very tough questions and trying to explain the crazy world of school funding.
Janet's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if all I'll say is she's just unbelievable. She's changed the way finances are done at the school.
Oh, it's amazing. She's great. The assistant superintendent, Marie Hoffmeister, amazing hire. I mean, just across the board. So you guys, I'm telling you, you guys are doing great. I wish I could complain, because that's what I like to do when it comes to people that are elected officials, but I can't right now. It's unbelievable. You guys made me quiet.
Good.
So, well, you gotta go work tomorrow. I gotta come see you. I gotta get my teeth cleaned next week.
I don't work on Fridays.
No, not tomorrow. Next week I'm coming in. I got a schedule. Okay. And then I'm bringing in my monsters, I think, on Monday.
Okay. I look forward to that.
Lucas or Isaac, you got to hear when Cameron, my middle one, goes in and talks to everybody in the freaking. It's fantastic. I'm going to record it.
Boy, that's how you get stuff done in this world. Sweet talk.
Well, Larry, good luck, man, on everything.
Yep.
Again,
thanks
if you
for
guys
having me on.
We're on your team for this one. So anything you need us to share, anything you want us to post, let us know.
Hey, before you go, there was that bet. I think there were stakes involved.
Yeah,
I never saw my stake.
I offered it last fall, and your brother said he's too busy with, I don't know what he was doing, flag football or soccer, or he didn't have time.
I think you could mail me a stake. Can't you mail us stakes or something? Like, even if
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Today they have to have a service where you can mail steaks.
Or I mean, listen, we could go to a nice steakhouse in Cleveland, or we could just go cheap here. Like, there's like a Longhorn Steakhouse in Board. I will take anything. It's not about how good the steak is; it's about just eating it. You know what I mean?
Thought it was the company with me. You want to be with me, didn't you?
Yes, the company too. You know,
I just want to go in there and call you Dad the entire time and have you buy.
Dad, can I get an appetizer? Can I get an appetizer, Dad?
Wow.
All right, Larry. Well, we'll see you later. Good luck, sir, and everything. Good job.
Good talking to you guys.
All right, we'll see you later. All right, bye. He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah.
You know, I like him too. He's a no BS type of guy. You know that? He's been like that since day one. No BS. Yeah. Tells it how it is.
Yeah.
Tells us to F off when we get out of line.
He's quiet. He's quiet, has a good demeanor, and still like gets our sense of humor. Very, very fun to get along with.
Oh, dude, he's really funny. Good work. Thank you, David.
Oh, they really are.
Where's he at?
But there he is. Look,
there he is.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Craig. Craig owes his pizza. We got people on the hook, Luke. We got Craig owes his pizza from the bank.
He does owe his pizza. Where the hell's my pizza, Craig?
Dinopolous. Listen, I would love to eat steak and pizza in front of these people and just smile. Like that is my dream. But so yeah. But like I said before, I think the most interesting thing would be in the future when all these people are dead and gone, to see what happens to the schools that did in fact decide to go with a levy. I'm betting it's a good investment. If this is at all true here, where is it? If this is at all true, and I strongly believe in this, research has proven repeatedly that every $1 spent in the schools corresponds to $20 increase in property value. What better investment is there? I strongly believe that will happen to the schools in the school districts that do that. And
I agree with that. So if I'm looking at Canfield and I'm looking at Poland to move into the area.
Yeah.
Canfield has a new school. Poland doesn't.
Which
and I
school do
don't
you
care
pick?
where I live. Where do you
In
go?
schools are about the same, neck and neck.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, one and
Who do you-
two,
who do you-
or whatever. Where
Who
do
do
you
you
go?
move to? And you have no influence of being a Youngstown person who grew up here. It's just, hey, we're moving to this area. What do you pick? If the schools are the same, you're gonna pick the school district that has the newer school.
100%. Why do you
100%.
think South Range has grown so much?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good school with brand new schools. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they don't.
Oh
they
yeah,
don't-
dude.
Again, it's just so frustrating because these freaking people don't get it. And I know I've had people oh, Luke, you're gonna piss people. I was like, they're not gonna talk to you anymore. It's like, I don't want to talk to these people that have vote no school signs in their yard. To me, you want to vote no, vote no. Okay. You're gonna join a committee that says no, a committee against Poland schools, and post a no school sign in your front yard.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to this.
And then too, like if you could eliminate money and and people over 65 who don't have kids in the schools didn't have to pay for it, like didn't have their taxes raised at all,
Yeah.
and you put it all on the shoulders of everybody else, I guarantee the other people would make up for the difference. And those people, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I guarantee that parents would take care of it and just pay it because they understand the investment, and the old people can just go pound salt. Like
I don't even know if it's not just old people either. There are some people that are younger saying vote no.
But do they not have kids?
Some do. 95.
It's not just because they're old. It's because if you don't have kids in the school system,
Yes.
nor do you see that it's gonna be worth the investment.
Right.
You know?
95. I'd be willing to bet this. 95% are over the age of 60 and don't have kids in the school. There's some outliers.
And it has everything to do with it has everything to do with money and nothing to do with anything else.
100%. It has.
Yeah.
And they're going to make up They're going to make up, because I think these people make this stuff up, Isaac, because deep down in their soul, right, they know what they're doing. They know
they feel bad. They feel bad about it. Yeah.
They know they're hurting the schools. They know they're affecting kids. They know that, right? So they look for reasons in their head to say no to this. Be it it's not transparent. Be it it's not they lied to me 20 years ago. You know what I mean? The schools are fine. You didn't take, like, they say that stuff to verify in their heads.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a bad thing.
Right.
When they know deep down inside they're not supporting the schools, they're not supporting the kids,
and they're just doing it for money. They're
just doing it selfishly for themselves. I will say that to the end of time, and I will die on that hill. Bottom line, you can make all you people watching that are against it watching. You are making up excuses to make yourself feel better. Don't lie to anybody else. You're not lying to me. I know that's what's going on.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. We're losing people left and right here. If you haven't already, go down below. Give us down below Luke. There should be a little thumbs up, a little smiley face. Give us something. Help get more people in here. We appreciate you so much for watching. If you didn't know, MLO Bros stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. We are loan officers. So next time you're buying a house, please call us. We need your business. We'd appreciate it. And we'll get you pre-approved and you can go look for houses.
Big news coming soon.
Big news coming soon too. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. And we'll see you on Tuesday, everybody. Have a great weekend.
We have real fast, and then we're gonna go.
Who do we have?
I have a dentist appointment at 10 a.m. with Larry.
Okay.
Youngstown Marathon people are coming back because that's the following weekend. Joe and
Youngstown Marathon people, everybody, bye.